Hey everybody, What's It Fox Gaming here. So today I wanted to have a look at the Shield Splinterer. This is the named F2000 that you get from completing or killing all of the DC hunters. There are a total of 8 encounters, some of them have 2 to 4 hunters, so I think there's 12 or 13 masks in total that you get. But after completing all 8 encounters and collecting the 8 subsequent ivory keys, you can unlock this at the base of operations right next to the barber. Once you've done that, I believe the only place to get another one of these, to say you had a level 30 version, is to go to Cassia Mendoza every week. I don't think they become an open world loot drop once you've obtained it. I could be wrong, so if that is the case, please do let me know in the comments, and I will edit this video accordingly. But that is my current understanding of this weapon. It just appears the same with the Perfect Intimidate Golem chests from the New York hunters. They only appear with Cassie each week once you've unlocked them. So the F2000 is an 850 RPM AR, very much the same as the Police M4, and obviously the name version that I've got here, the Pyromaniac. The actual damage between the two is pretty much identical. So in fact this roll here is only 10%, so in theory this would actually be a little bit higher than the Police M4. But the reason that it's not very popular in comparison to the Police M4, which is still to this day one of the best ARs in the game, just in terms of raw base stats and usability, is, well, one, its handling is lower. So if we go into it and compare it to the more popular Police M4, so on the right there you see we have the Shield Splinter, on the left we have the Pyromaniac, which is the Police M4. Look at the stats there, the accuracy and stability are higher with the Police M4, and you do notice that when comparing the two. The reload speeds are pretty much the same, 2.4 to 2.1 is neither here nor there. So yeah, the F2000 has slightly more damage, but it does have lower sort of handling stats. The other downside to it, you may have already noticed, is it only has 3 mod slots, so you're missing an opportunity to get more critical hit damage. If you look at my stats on the Splinterer, you'll see that I'm at 51.9% critical hit chance, and that's only because I'm wearing coyotes, and 163. If you switch over to this, you see that we're at 168, so we've already gained more damage from the Pyromaniac just because we have that extra mod slot, which allows us to equip either more critical hit chance or more critical hit damage, whatever you prefer. Now that's not going to put me off this weapon. It does still have a pretty good recall pattern. This is without any input. I'm just going to fire this now. So it's actually one of the more vertical recall patterns in the game. If we compare it to the Police M4, this does have a much tighter spread, but it does definitely kick off to the right. Let's just try it over here. So again, no directional input for myself. So you see there the spread is much tighter. It definitely kicks off to the right, but this is easy to control because the accuracy and stability are higher. Now obviously you're not just going to let it kick up like that, you're going to control it, but you do have to put in a little bit more work to land consistent headshots with an F2000. And I think that's one of the main reasons it isn't used. It's the extra mod slot, and of course the stability isn't quite as good as a Police M4, and that's why that weapon just feels better to use. However, one of the benefits of this particular version is we do have Perfect Optimist. Now up until InSync kind of started to become known, Optimist was classed as the single best weapon damage talent in the game, certainly for PvP, on weapons like ARs and SMGs in particular. So this is the perfect version. Weapon damage is increased by 4% for every 10% ammo missing from the magazine, so it can potentially have to 40% extra damage by the time we're in those final few bullets. The standard version of Optimist is only 30%, so 3% for each 10% missing. So we're going to get quite a lot of extra damage out of this. What I did is I just basically used my existing AR build. I did this pretty much the same build here with when I was testing measured with Vigilance. So I'm just going to stick with the same stuff. I've got a Provenance backpack, so I always like the headshot damage with ARs. I've got a Seska gloves here, and again these are all rolled into weapon damage, critical hit chance. I've decided to go for the Fox's Prayer because I include these in all of my builds, and I was able to re-roll this to blue just because it gives us a damage to targets out of cover. The Grupo Sombra, which is also re-rolled to blue because I already had the critical hit chance and damage, and of course Grupo Sombra does give us the critical hit damage as well, and of course Fenris because we do need that for our AR. Again, this is rolled quite nicely into weapon damage, critical hit chance and damage, and I've just got Unbreakable on there. I decided to go for the Coyote's Exotic Mask, so instead of putting on a bunch of critical hit chance mods on my gear, I was instead able to put on critical hit damage. As you can see here, they're all 11.2. And that meant that I kind of leave my weapon stats at about 50%. So it's 51.9, because of course coyote is when you're firing at that 15 to 25 meter range, which is pretty atypical for an AR. You gain 10% critical hit chance and 10% critical hit damage for you and your entire team. So that fits quite nicely into this build. I can sort of keep the chance and damage pretty high. I'm going with gunner because it's my favourite specialisation and it has a lot of benefits that really help with using ARs. The faster reload every now and again, the faster rate of fire on kill, the armour on kill, the ammo regeneration, which can be quite good for longer games or dark zone runs. The 10% increased handling whilst you're in cover, which helps with your reload speed. Quite a lot of reasons to use it. And as we're using the EMP jammer here, we can also use the gunner specific mods, so the increased radius and of course the increased effect duration. By all means, use whichever one you want. A lot of people prefer firewall these days. Sharpshooter is also a great choice because it does give 15% stability, so that works really well with the F2000. My particular role here, 10% assault rifle damage, which isn't amazing, but I'll take it. And I did re-roll onto it the 10% damage to targets out of cover, because that is what you should always run on any weapon in the game for conflict. It should always be damage to targets out of cover. It's just the highest damage buff that you can get out of all of the non-core attributes. So let's load into a conflict game in super fast speed, apparently. Wow. And we'll sort of see how the weapon feels. We'll see what the damage feels like. I've got my floating numbers on, so you can keep an eye on those numbers to the right-hand side of my character and see just how quickly they ramp up. This is a late game. Okay.
Rogue striker drone detected. Rogue defender drone detected. Agent down.
Optimist is going to be good. They have a healer. They have a healer. Ah, no. So that was doing quite a lot of damage just there, to be fair.
An agent needs assistance.
Already dead. I didn't see the healer there, so we definitely loaded into a game late. But yeah, I mean, that felt pretty comfortable to use, to be fair. That didn't feel bad at all. It has a little bit of kick, but it's nothing like, you know, an AUG or... Oh yeah, instant headshot key, even though it's set on fire. Yeah, so it has nothing. It's nothing like the Bighorn or the AUG or anything like that. It does have pretty reasonable kick, but yeah, that damage was pretty instant there. I mean, I know I had vigilance procced, which would have helped. Oh, we have been pulsed. I'm just going to sit back here and wait. There's 1 for 1 at the moment. Can I help my team bring this back? I've died once and I've got 1 kill. No, they've got the boost.
The boost has been taken by the
I'm going to take a cheeky... Ah, they've got armour. Whenever it's armour, you really don't want to be pushing at all, to be fair. So this weapon could benefit from buffing your handling stats. Because handling got that nice buff in TU10, it is always smart to have at least 1 piece on your gear. For example, one thing I would change with this backpack, you see I have headshot damage, which is nice. I would swap that out for weapon handling. If you can get 1 piece of your loadout with a max 8% weapon handling, it really makes a difference, because it's just 8% stability, and that really makes up for some of the shortcomings of some of these weapons. Not really sure, but my guess is they're going to be sitting back in spawn. Question is, has he seen me? Maybe I could get behind this guy here.
Agent down.
Oh!
There are no more reinforcements.
Wow, he got dropped instantly.
Defender drone detected.
Can't see because of that health bar, that drone is in the way.
An agent needs assistance.
That healer's really helping them out there.
The road has run out of reinforcements.
I mean, that felt pretty crispy there to use, to be fair. Get a quick heal off. Shields back up.
You're halfway through the fight.
Okay, that actually felt really good to use there. Yeah, no, I like it. I like it. This already feels good. You're definitely losing a little bit of damage compared to an M4. But I don't know. That felt pretty good.
I've sent a specialization supply.
And you can always tell how far it's ramped up, because if you look at the side of the gun, that will go up to 10, that number, and that's basically how many 4% you have. So it'd be like 4, 8, 12, 16 for each number. Last guy alive. Let's go and murder him. Sorry if I sound a little bit under the weather today. It's hay fever season. I've never had an issue with it at all until about last year, and all of a sudden, now I'm allergic to flowers, apparently. Which is super awesome. Oh, did some guy just die there? Or did I imagine that? That's just me and him alive. Yeah, so you know, I'm not gonna sort of do a video on how to complete the hunters. There's plenty of YouTube content out there. Just have a look around and see. You know, there's plenty of videos. There's Reddit posts. There's articles. See what you can find and get the hunters done. They're easy enough to solo, but one tip I will give you: put your UL to normal. For some reason, their health is, well, I say for some reason, I suppose it's obvious. Their damage doesn't change. They will still pretty much one-shot you on any difficulty, but their health does change based on your UL tier settings. So just put it on normal. You can easily solo them. Even I soloed the one that spawns 4 hunters at once. You just got to play it safe, sit back, use your med kits.
About to come online.
Oh, didn't even get my shield out. Unlucky. I mean, I didn't notice there was that much of a recoil issue with it. So even though in comparison to something like a Police M4 it definitely kicks more, it's the same with any weapon. You just have to sort of understand and respect its weaknesses and use it at the appropriate range. So I feel that at severe ranges, you know, and this is true for the FAMAS as well, this would be pretty terrible. And that's why my favourite AR personally is the FAL, the FAL, or possibly the Carbine, because they're both absolute lasers and you can just use them at any sort of range. But as long as you use this sort of more close to medium range, I mean, Perfect Optimist is awesome. It's just 40% damage by the time you get to the end of your mag, and of course that's ramping up by 4% for each 10% missing. Because it's on a high rate of fire weapon, 850, I mean, the only thing that's really faster than that is the FAMAS at 900, so at least I think that's the fastest RPM for an AR. So, you know, it's a pretty fast AR, and you would only ever use Optimist on a fast rate of fire weapon, because of course you want to burn through your mag quicker, therefore get the damage faster. It feels good. I like it. I think I'm going to incorporate this on a lot of my builds. Try it out for yourself. Let me know what you think. If you have some difficulty with the hunters, just have a look online. There's plenty of useful guides. When you get it, let me know what you think to it, and if you've got a better build. You know, is it your favourite weapon? Do you absolutely hate it? Do you think it's too hard to get? Do you think it's too easy to get? Just let me know. Thank you very much for sticking through to the end. I'll quickly show you my damage stats there as we finish. So even though I joined that game late, I actually finished on top damage, weirdly enough. Crazy. But yeah, thank you very much for sticking through to the end, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.